we've got a crazy stat here. We think 60% of marketing jobs are going to be at risk in the next 18 months. It's just like a serious time to wake up and listen up.
I think it could be one of the greatest disruptions to the workforce in the last 100 years. And I think people are not taking it seriously enough and aren't researching its potential impact in their industry. Their heads in the sand. They're distracted by AI, but they don't know what it can do to their industry.
Well, it's complicated to unpack because AI in marketing/branding is kind of being looked at as this amazing tool that no one's talking about. There's enhancements to it, right? Like we're talking about copywriting in AI. You're seeing a lot of like Canva tools and like there's it's definitely obviously greatly entering into marketing and branding because for the most part, marketing and branding is like ideation, which is kind of easy for ChatGPT to come into. But what's complicated about it is we're not talking about the jobs that are going to be lost, especially when we just watched The Diary of a CEO. And in one of the segments, he talks about this platform, which I have pulled up actually, called Replit, which effectively through AI will completely build for you like an entire shop, like a Shopify shop that can
Website,
take payments,
everything.
like full apps, like SaaS-based platforms, like entire swaths of industries are going to be wiped out for how fast AI is moving.
The pace of change today is 10x or 1,000x of that.
Yeah.
So understanding that pace of change now is so much faster, once you introduce AI that can build websites, put Shopify's on it, do graphic design, write copy, think of how many jobs in the marketing space can be replaced by AI or will be replaced. And so you have to ask yourself, how do I remain relevant in this market?
A lot of these big agencies are obsolete. Like they have too many bodies. They have too big of a footprint. They have too big of an office. And you're going to see a lot of these C-suites all breaking off to all become these like boutique individual proprietorships. And there's going to be so much more competition.
In a world where AI is going to replace a lot of the humans, if you're in the industry, in the marketing industry or any industry, you have to develop your own personal brand so that people can relate to you and want to work with you, because that's the only thing that's going to save us in this market is having personal relationships.
Well, investing in a personal brand is also just important for a ton of different reasons. Number one is so many agency owners, if we're going to talk about the agency space, but also any industry, are not investing in their future self, like their future potential. And if every industry is going to become more competitive because AI is coming in to take away more jobs, and it's still going to be humans hiring humans, you don't want to be creating a personal brand when we're in a massive crisis and everyone is trying to enter into the space. But two, outside of that, a lot of professionals in all industries are resisting ChatGPT or AI because they think that they are the best. It's their expertise. They're arrogant. They're not leveling up their humanness by being like plugged in. And that's what you and I talk about. Like, why would you want to hire a human that's not maximizing their time on stupid things? Like, you're not hiring me to type out the document. You're hiring me because of all of my experience, everything I've read, my perspective on life. Like, what I'm putting into the machine is not what you're putting into the machine. So the fact that the machine is typing it out and my brain is scanning it and reading it and saying, no, that's not correct. I want this angle. I want this approach. It's that input that I can't train somebody on.
So I think what AI is going to usher in is a phase of the return to the generalist.
Yeah.
For like the last 20 to 30 years, everybody has told you specialize, specialize, specialize. What AI allows you to do is access the specialized knowledge you couldn't get if you didn't specialize.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's going to come down to being able to understand a complex system. And it's almost like you can't plan, if you're going to surf, for example, Brett Weinstein gave this example. I love this thinker. You can't chart the route you're going to surf if you're a surfer. You can't plan the whole way from the wave to the thing. You have to be somebody who can understand a complex system and respond to things as they go down, and then you surf the wave. And in an AI world where we have a complex system of things changing so rapidly, if you're a specialist, you're going to get left behind because everybody will move fast. You have to be able to see the patterns, respond to them, and keep moving.
I love that because that perfectly captures not knowing what's coming, but being prepared that change is on the horizon. Like, that's super important. I don't want to get bogged down in like the anxiety of it all, because it is definitely stressful. But there's also what I'm noticing as well is they're putting limitations on the GPTs like as we move. Like they're really using the drug dealer model, right? Like they want you to get addicted, and it's gonna start being like capped where if you want the best access, it's gonna cost you a hell of a lot of money. And you're even noticing with the changes like week over week how I even find like how it answers or like how it's trying to pause and it's not giving me the response, and it's trying to push me to like give delivery dates like a week or 2 weeks later so that you're not just consuming an insane amount of energy. Like there are changes that are also coming and being implemented. And like all industries, the best time to get involved is in the beginning because it helps you chart those waves.
Let me say it simply to people who are listening. I think you should be spending 2 hours a day on ChatGPT or a language learning model to learn it, because I think for the first time in history, we're going to think of writing. Like when writing was invented, it was transformative for the human species, but only a few people could write. And it could only be disseminated. There was no printing press.
Yeah.
So it was actually a slow change. It was powerful, but it couldn't be multiplied at a level. The printing press is seen as the biggest thing, the last biggest thing to happen to us, right? Because it allowed us to print books en masse.
Allows to convey information across territories.
But today, with AI, en masse, you're going to see people who are 1,000x more capable than people who aren't using it. It's not just going to be 10x or double. It's going to be 1,000x. You're going to use that software we talked about. You're going to be able to create apps, websites, move at such a pace if you're skilled at it. And so if you're not investing in that, you could be one of the people who are left behind. So whatever industry you're in, you need to understand this, and you need to be working with people who understand it so you can move fast.